Hello YouTube, this is Oasis Rising, and this is a semi-sort of battle report for the 500 point game we had this Saturday. We actually ended up playing a 3-person free-for-all, a 3-army free-for-all, because we only had 3 people show up and we all wanted to play. So we kind of, I don't know if there's any official rules for that kind of thing, so we kind of just made it up ourselves. And we missed a bunch of rules too, and I was finding it really awkward to film and try to play at the same time and get all the dice rolls and everything with my camera, because it's only on a really short tripod that sits like a couple inches off the table, so it was difficult to get the right angles to get all those shots in. And also I was kind of unfamiliar with how to shoot a battle report, and both of my opponents did not want to share their army information with me in the army introduction part of it. I asked, do you have any special rules attached to these guys? And like, I'm not going to tell you that. So that didn't really work out so well. So maybe the trick is to have a third person or a fourth person not involved in the battle doing all the filming, so then it doesn't feel like one person has an advantage or disadvantage based on that. But I can give you a quick rundown of what happened. So we had High Elves, which were my guys, and I have 12 Swordmasters, full command. Actually, this guy is not a captain, he's not upgraded. So just the standard bearer and musician, and Seaguard, full command, and my mage, who has the lore of high magic, level 1. And the Wood Elves, which were my husbands. Tell us about your army.
Dryads, Eternal Bear, and a Noble.
Do you have any upgrades?
Maybe. Noble's got a great sword. Wait, no, I'm not saying.
And Skaven.
We have got the engineer, who is magical, he's level 2 wizard, and these are monks that are quite dangerous. Then we have a extra large unit back here, which is a horde, because we have a 10 wide, and they'll get to attack with all 4 ranks because they have spears. And this is flamethrower.
So basically we took three corners of a triangle and just kind of all went at it at once. Skaven got the first turn, so advanced. They had monks, so they advanced the monks towards the Wood Elves, and the huge horde of clan rats and the Warlock Engineer towards my High Elves. I went next, and I advanced my Swordmasters towards the Wood Elves and let my Sea Guard stay put so they could shoot, and backed this guy up a little bit so he wouldn't get attacked by the Warlock Engineer, and cast Flames of the Phoenix on the giant horde of rats. It wasn't able to be dispelled, and this was one of the rules we got wrong today, and we came back and looked at the rulebook after the game to kind of check in more detail. But the Flames of the Phoenix is a remains in play spell that immediately causes strength 3 hits to each model in the unit. So for a horde of rats, that was 40 models. So in the first round, I got 7 guys off, and then I actually shot the last 3 to get the 25%, but they made their panic. And let's see, so the remains in play spell, that means every time my magic phase starts, that group needs to take another hit, but it escalates. So the first time is strength 3, the second turn is strength 4, the third turn is strength 5, and so on. What we didn't know is that you could dispel it in later turns with your own magic dice. So in my opponent's magic phase, they could have used their magic pool to dispel it, and they wouldn't have to get the level that I cast it at, or the value that I cast it at. So you don't have to keep track of, okay, I rolled a 25 to cast this, I only need an 11, so you need to get 25. That's only when you first cast it. In subsequent rounds, you just have to get the minimum casting value, so 11. So that would make that spell a lot less terrible than it was. I mean, a lot less effective, because basically my sword masters were holding up for the horde of rats, but they never reached them because they burned and frenzied themselves to death before I even got there. And also I cast Flames of the Phoenix on the dryads because my sword masters were facing off the dryads, but they failed their fear test and ran off the board because they lost their combat. So then the dryads were regrouping and going after my wizard. So my wizard cast Flames of the Phoenix on them and ran to get out of there once they declared their charge. I said, I'm not getting hit by this. So basically I had enough rounds of them burning themselves to death. But of course they could have had that dispelled, but we didn't really know that. Other interesting things that happened were, let's see, the Eternal Guard back there got hit dead on with the Warp Fire Thrower from the Skaven. It took out 6 models in one blast. Luckily, the champion wasn't, or the noble wasn't on that side that got hit. But I guess you can do the lookout, sir. So I'm not sure. We haven't read up on those rules yet. And then the remaining 4 and the noble there faced off her plague monks. So the plague monks did a number on them, took away all 4 of the Eternal Guard, but the noble still held on and finally caused the rats to break, and basically ran them off the board, as well as running off the Warp Fire Thrower. Did a charge on the Warp Fire Thrower, and the Warp Fire Thrower decided to stand and shoot, which was a misfire, and he blew himself up. So that was really funny. I think in the end, I had the most amount of models left because, let's see, my Sea Guard had charged the remainder of the big horde of rats, who then burnt up in the last magic phase. So these guys got to overrun, which put them close to the monks. And then in the next turn, the monks were already fleeing, so I declared a charge on the monks, who ended up just running off the table. Oh no, that's not what I did. I'm sorry. That's why I record these things. The noble had declared a charge against the monks. They ran, so he redirected his charge against the fire thrower, which blew up. So these guys stayed put and shot at the noble and killed the noble. So then I ended up with my mage left and like 4 Sea Guard, because before that they got hit with the plague spell, and the plague spell is nasty because it requires you to take a toughness test, and the toughness test, my toughness is only 3 on those guys, so they lost 6, It was pretty devastating. And that's about it. I'm sorry I couldn't get a better shot of everything. I have some ideas for next time. Maybe using a different camera that's a little bit easier to move around and focus. Because this one takes a lot of takes really nice photographs, but for a lot of moving action shots or action video, it's not that great because you can hear it focusing itself. So, well, next time is also a 1,000 point game, and I have a lot of painting to do, so I'm gonna get started with that. It'll probably be the Glade Riders, which are back here. So I have 8 Glade Riders, and one of them I need to strip to get that green paint off. So I better get to it. Thanks for watching. Bye.